Hi, this is Miss Litton, and this is my wonderful Period 3 class. Say hi. Okay, and so this is Chapter 36, Body Fluid Regulation and Excretory Systems, and you already had an ed puzzle where you needed to go through and answer several questions and process all of these. And I'm going to say not it. And whoever is not it, pass or play and give them a rundown on the notes that you had to do quickly for your ed puzzle. Reviewing all the different things we talked about.
Less energy. Less water. And uric acid takes least water.
Wait, how more energy uses less water, and uses a lot of energy, but basically no water. Oh, and then there's like, I think it's for, and basically how toxic it is so flames are found in noun areas, and I would actually everything now just takes it off the oh, and then
Andrew, I got it now.
it's the melts of like
Okay, 30 more seconds.
Yeah. I don't know, but I know that look at the same.
All right, and here we go.
Because it's like a bunch of tubes. It's not straight. Oh yeah.
So this is going to be a monster quiz. You're going to be a monster. Obviously, this is more. How many teams do we want to make?
Five.
Five?
Nine teams.
One person team.
How many families?
Yeah, five.
Five?
No, nine.
Stop. Five.
Nine.
Seven. Lucky number. Seven is a lucky number.
No.
Who would build a wall? Who's build a wall?
In the future, if we want, you could come because I can move people like this. Okay, are you ready? Now listen to me. If you miss it,
I love this.
if you miss it, stop for a second. If you miss it, then you have to come back around and re-answer it. So just, where are my magma blasters? Raise your hand, Matt. You're on the same team. Look around, magma blasters.
Oh, that's a solid team.
Barrel busters. Where are barrel busters?
Oh yeah. Let's go.
Fire breathers. Where are you, fire breathers? You can get together if you want. Cart crunchers. Where are my cart crunchers? Where are my heat scorchers? All right, and where are my snow blinders? All right, here we go.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh wait, different question?
It's speed to win. See, your little guys are going to get bigger and bigger till they're born. Gotta keep going. It's a race.
Mount Figian Mules has life. Seven.
I don't know this.
Okay, what do you guess is false? False. Oh wait. What's else? It's both, right? It's this, right? It's this. Hey, just look. No. Is less toxic? It comes from, I think it's false. I don't know.
So false or true?
I don't know.
I don't know. You know.
Oh, so it's true. No, false. It's the most of uric acid. Okay, I got you. I think it's false. Okay, you go first. think it's close. Marine? Dude, we're only halfway in. Marine, you got this one, you got this one. What? Oh, that's only one. You go first.
Yeah, it's just switching the order.
Guys, look, one is looking to get the first place right there.
Oh, talk to me.
Snow blinders. What? How did we push it up?
You got this one, you got this one. Did you?
Yeah, we know if it's a half.
Let's go, Barrel Busters, let's go! Let's go, guys! Second place. Oh my god! I don't know this one. I actually don't know. Savage. Second place, come on, let's go! Let's go, Krishna.
Oh, everybody's won. Okay. Oh wow, there's third.
This is the funnest game I've ever played in my life. I'm gonna devote my life to Monster. I'm gonna devote my life to
Oh, look at these scorchers. They're stuck. Oh, you're born. Yay. Yeah. Heart crunchers, where are you? There, Ariel had to answer a question.
Sorry, guys.
Oh, there we go.
This is so lit, Max. This is so lit.
It's
so lit.
Where are the snow blinders? Nice.
Oh, second place though.
All right. Yeah, so snow blinders, barrel busters, magma blasters, heat scorchers. Good job, Barbie. All right, so let's go through the questions. Okay. So why don't we put slates in charge of the odd questions and blues in charge of the even? I'll try to hit ones you maybe don't get. So everybody got, oh, somebody picked excretion. Dang it. That's the process of getting rid of it, but osmoregulation is balanced. I'll let you go do it. Go ahead. Blue, you do too. Make sure you know why it's true or false. Make sure you know why it is that answer.
Can a charges waste area uric acid is less toxic than urea. Why? I got it right. Uric acid. No, think about it. Uric acid. Uric acid. Oh, because it's a multiplex thing, right? It needs least. Oh, you need more water to catch on the toxin. So least water is less toxic.
You guys, so a lot of people miss 4, so let's talk about 4 for a second. Why would I say uric acid is less toxic than urea? What?
Uric acid is the least toxic
Of the 3. It is, and it requires the least amount of water. Yeah, least amount of water. Yes.
It also kept switching the true and false questions.
Yeah.
So like, the true was on top one time and then it was
Oh, and then it was on the bottom? Oh, so it made you think. Also, I didn't realize it would scramble the choices, so when I put in, when I made it, 2 of the above, were they actually above when you got it? Oh, sorry, that was a different class. Sorry, never mind. That was in honors. I forgot. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. 6. A lot of people miss 6. Where do you have flame cells? One area. Good. Keep going. Keep reviewing. I'm just going to do the ones that you miss a lot. Oh, 8. You know what the word is? Isotonic. They keep it isotonic. Okay. And, whoa, 10. Now, you should not have had to even watch this puzzle that I made for you. Is water ever actively transported? How many times am I going to get you on that one? Stop it. Check your BioMedicine score. How did they do?
Let's do another one.
All right. All right. Now they have other kinds like matching ones and you swim. So I'll start working through. I know. There's some different ones though. That was that one. All right. So now, folks, I need to walk you through the human urinary system because I need you to understand it. Our human urinary system is most similar to the earthworm. Do you remember what the earthworm had? Phrydia. Yeah. And what makes it similar is there's basically a waste tube next to a blood tube. Talk to your bio buddy. Why would it be adaptive to have a waste tube next to a blood tube? Talk.
It's gonna be my life. I'm gonna devote myself.
Devote yourself to the questions?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. What can happen if those two tubes are next to each other? The blood can put whatever it doesn't want into the waste, right? And if there's anything in the waste that you want recovered, you can take it out because they're right next to each other. Okay? So let's talk about the macroscopic structures first, the large structures, and make sure we understand those. So here we have our kidneys, 2 kidneys. Sitting on top of our kidneys are our adrenal gland. Now, you wouldn't think that the adrenal gland would have anything to do with the kidneys, but it will. Okay? The adrenal gland, there are 2 parts to it, cortex and medulla. Which part do you think is on the outside? Cortex. Good. Just like your cerebral cortex, right? You know something, the medulla. Yeah, okay. So there's outer nerve. The adrenal medulla secretes 2 hormones, part of your endocrine system, that you already know. Or at least one of them you know. What do you think the adrenal gland secretes? Adrenaline. And the second one? Noradrenaline. Okay, adrenaline and noradrenaline are secreted from your adrenal medulla. That's about fight or flight, yeah? And then the adrenal cortex, the outermost part of the adrenal gland, secretes 3 categories of hormones that you're going to need to know. I'm just introducing them now, so it won't be the first time you met them. One is glucocorticoids. What do you hear in that? Glucose. And these are all steroid hormones. Ooh, think about that, steroid. Fat dissolves into fat. Steroid is a lipid, so it goes right on into the cell. It actually goes in and affects transcription and translation and the proteins that are made from it. Okay? So glucocorticoids, have you heard of like somebody getting a cortisone shot? Yeah. That is a glucocorticoid. Okay? And it affects glucose levels, yes, and also there's connections with inflammation. Glucocorticoids, mineral corticoids. What do you hear in mineral corticoids? Minerals. Okay, let's be all good. Let's be all logical. The one we're going to talk about is aldosterone. But if you put more minerals in your blood, what will follow the minerals? Water. What will happen to your blood volume? Go up. What will happen to your blood pressure? Go up. Yeah, it'll go up to match your blood volume. So aldosterone, which is a mineral corticoid, which comes from your adrenal gland, adrenal cortex, will increase your blood pressure. Why would you ever want to increase it if your blood pressure was too low? Okay. So, and then you have cortical sex hormones. Those come from the adrenal cortex. And we'll hit that in the endocrine system, but we will connect with it today. Your kidneys are here. Coming out of your kidneys are your ureters. You have 2. If you get a kidney stone, it will form in your kidneys. And the only way it's going to get out, minus surgery, the only outdoor for your kidneys are your ureters, and then it would go in your bladder, and then out your urethra. A kidney stone is not a small little river stone with smooth edges. It is made, calcified, and it would be like a small cat trying to scratch its way out of your kidney, down your ureters, and out your urethra. So imagine that, the whole way out. I have never had a kidney stone, but I have heard that there is more pain with that than there is with birth, and that I have done. Okay? So, do you know how to avoid kidney stones? And gentlemen, you should have a longer urethra than the ladies in the room. Hopefully. Okay? But do you know how to avoid a kidney stone? Drink water. Drink water. Yeah, you want to drink water. Yeah, throughout the day. That's how you avoid a kidney stone.
That's not good.
All right. Now, on your notes, go to kidneys. The anatomy. You see where I am? So, your kidneys have 3 regions to them. It has the cortex, the outermost part. It has the medulla, and then this inner part is the pelvis. So you can see cortex, medulla, pelvis. When we dissect our pig, you'll do a cross section across, and you will easily see those 3 regions: cortex, medulla, and pelvis. The blood supply, renal is anything kidney. So this is the renal artery. Riddle me this: oxy or deoxy blood? Yeah. Renal artery. Arteries go away from the heart. Veins go towards. If it's out in your systemic circuit, right, your kidneys will be part of your, if it's not the systemic, it's your what? Pulmonary, right? If it's out there, going out to your tissues, it better be what kind of blood? Oxygenated. Okay, so the renal artery has oxygenated blood. Is it dirty or clean? It's going away from your heart, so it must be going towards your kidneys. So what would it be? Dirty oxygenated blood. Now tell me about the renal vein.
It's
Clean, deoxygenated. See how that makes sense? Discuss. With BioBuddy, make sure you understand. Renal artery is dirty and oxygenated. Renal vein is clean and deoxygenated.
if it's going towards your body, it has to and it's
Sometimes deoxygenation gets there, that's what
because it's going
Do you understand what happened to me last night? I went to sleep at 11:30, and I was just laying in my bed until 1:30. I was like, I wonder what time it is.
Those are the
11,
worst
1:30. You know why? You know why? I was sleeping at 1 and 2 a.m. during the weekends. So
All right, now, look, when you look up here at this picture, just to help you out, I love the patterning in the body. I love when I see patterns, okay? When we looked at the heart, what was on top? The pulmonary arteries or the pulmonary veins? Pulmonary arteries. The pulmonary veins were beneath it. A comes before B, right? A, V, look at this. Renal artery, renal vein is below. See the pattern? You like it. All right, now, when this blood goes in here, when I say it's dirty blood, that means it's got what? What do you know is dissolved in the blood that we need to get rid of? Waste. What kind of waste? Nitrogenous waste. What are the 3 nitrogenous wastes? Urea, uric acid. What do you think we have? Urea. Now we also make some uric acid too. If you have too much uric acid, it will precipitate out at your joints because it's not water soluble, right? And that's when you get gout. And I'll show you some really pretty pictures of gout. Okay. Yay! All right. Now, let's go into the cortex medulla. Actually, let's get our notes caught up. Go to your kidneys. Anatomy, cortex medulla pelvis. Cortex medulla pelvis. One way to remember that. Cortex medulla pelvis. And you can remember CMP. Yeah, I CMP. Did you CMP? Ella CMP. Cortex medulla pelvis. Okay. And then the blood vessels. What are the 2 blood vessels associated with the kidney? Good. How many vessels total are associated with the kidney? How many? 3. Renal artery, renal vein, and the ureter. See, 3 vessels. But the blood vessels are the renal artery and the renal vein. The functional unit inside the kidney, you have 1,000,000 plus of nephrons, just like the alveoli are the functional unit of your lungs, right? For the kidney, the functional unit is the nephron. The ureters go from where to where? Kidneys to bladder. And the urinary bladder collects and stores urine. Collects and stores urine. And the urethra is bladder to outside. All right, so now we're looking at, we're going in, cortex, medulla, and you can see part of the pelvis. This right here that I've circled, that is a nephron. Now, the part of the nephron that you're seeing is the urine tube. There are capillaries involved as well, but right now they're just showing you the urine part. And you would call it filtrate. It's not really urine until you pee it. Okay? But this stalk of it right here, that's called the collecting duct. And can you see how there are branches right here on that? That's where you could have another nephron and another nephron. So you could have several sharing one collecting duct. And the significance, we'll talk about that in just a little bit, what goes on with that collecting duct. All right, so we're looking at just one section out of the kidney. There's 1 million plus of these nephrons in both your kidneys. This is the functional unit of how a kidney works. And we want to break that down. And to help you understand the formation of urine, this easiest way, think about a woman cleaning out her purse. So a woman takes her purse, if you've ever seen it, does she open up her purse and go, oh, that's garbage, I should throw it out? What does she do? Right, okay? So imagine a table or a bed, she dumps everything out of her purse. She sets her purse aside. Then she looks at everything. What does she start to do? Take things back. Take her wallet back. Take her, lip gloss back. And you start to put that back in your purse. You push and look around, okay? When everything's back you want, what do you do with the rest? Throw it in the garbage. That is exactly how the nephron works. It's one of 3 places in your body where you have double capillaries. Think structure and function. Where's the other place we learned about double capillaries? The liver was the second place. Where was the first place? Yeah, the hepatic portal vein. Where was the first place? Where was the first set of capillaries? Small intestines. Small intestines, hepatic portal vein. Then you go to the second set of capillaries in the liver. If the blood sugar level's too high, we store it. If it's too low, we put some in. Okay, that was the purpose here. Now, let's apply this to cleaning out the purse. First set of capillaries is where we dump out everything in our purse. Second set is where we take it back. Good, good, good. What do you think is the most vital thing that you have to take back? Water. I heard it over there somewhere. Water. Go, Krishna. Okay? Now, see the clean purse? This is the blood going back nice and clean. This, and I did have to search for a trash can with yellow paper in it. This is the pee. Okay? All right? Now, this is a very simplified nephron in this picture, and then we'll bring it up to how it actually is. So, you have your renal artery, clean or dirty blood? The artery is dirty, but it's what kind of blood? Oxygenated. Then it breaks down into plain old arteries, then a small, remember we go artery, then what? Arterial. You have what's called the afferent arterial. Sorry, I have to set up this system to match. Okay, so you have what's called the afferent arterial. This afferent arterial goes into the first set of capillaries. Guys, maybe instead of you chatting, let me do the chatting. It goes into the first set of capillaries. That is a ball of capillaries called a glomerulus. And this ball of capillaries, when the afferent arterial goes in, remember there's 2 pressures, opposing pressures. What are they? Hydrostatic and osmotic. Hydrostatic going into that one right there is saying out, 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 right? And it pushes everything out. It can't push out large molecules. Think about histamine secreted by mast cells and how it makes them leaky. Same idea here. You're not going to have red blood cells and white blood cells go out. You know how you could have that? if I took Ellis and punched her in the kidneys, right? Or if Ellis played football and she didn't wear her pads right here, if you get knocked really hard where your kidneys are, what could you pee? You could pee blood because you destroy and hurt your glomeruli. Okay? And it could happen, I would never do that. You can have that for a short time and then it can be fixed, or you could permanently damage them. Okay? If you get a kidney infection, okay, you can have an infection that goes from your urethra back into your bladder, and then the bacteria can keep growing up your ureters and get all the way into your kidneys, and you can permanently damage your glomeruli if bacteria get in there and your infection spreads. Okay? Now, so you have this afferent arteriole, and here at the first set of capillaries, this ball of capillaries, everything comes out. Red blood, not red blood cells, not white blood cells, but plasma, and everything dissolved in the plasma comes out. What's in the plasma?
Gas.
Water, and then we have gases, what? Dissolved gases, and nutrients.
Salts, proteins, nitrogen, vitamins.
Right? Some of those things we want to get back, right? So all of it comes out. It then goes into what's called the glomerular capsule, or the Bowman's capsule. It's named after Miss Bowman's great-grandfather. Just kidding. So it goes into this Bowman's capsule, and then it twists around. There's this whole twisting tube way, which they've simplified right here. And then you take back at the second set of capillaries. It's called the paratubular, para around the tube. Paratubular capillaries, you take back everything you want. Now, you know we can't actively transport water. So how are we going to get water to move if we want to recover it? What could we do? Create a hypertonic environment. What did you tell me was dissolved in that plasma? Salts. If you actively pump salts, who will follow? Water. That's the mechanism. Create a hypertonic environment and water will follow. So you reabsorb water here. Now, do you see this other arrow coming out? Sometimes when you dump everything out of your purse or your backpack, maybe some gum got stuck to the side and you really want that out. You know, work at it, a little active transport to get that out. That's what happens at tubular secretion. And that's where you're actively saying, this is in my blood right now and I want it out. Now, most people, if I said, what is the function of the kidney, they would say, get rid of nitrogenous waste. But it's also very much involved in water balance, which you know why, right? Water balance. First pee of the day, that's going to be darkest, stankiest pee. Why? Because you haven't been drinking water all night. If you drink a lot of water all day, your pee gets clearer and clearer and clearer, right? And that's because your kidneys are in charge of your water balance. Your pee is an indicator of where you are with your water balance. If you wait to have a drink of water until you are thirsty, that's like a fire alarm going off. You want to put out the fire before the firemen come, right? Ideally, having the sensation of being thirsty, you're really behind on your water needs. That's why you want to continually drink a little bit all day long, okay? So it's in water balance, but it also maintains your pH. Because you know what it can do? It can control the hydrogen and bicarbonate. And how much? Tubular secretion. If your blood's too acidic, get rid of hydrogen, right? Reabsorb bicarbonate, and vice versa. So the kidney takes care of that as well. And it secretes some hormones. But tubular secretion, this is where you get rid of. If you're being naughty, your parents can have you take a drug test, right? Pee in a cup. And then you can test that urine, or it happens to them all the time, right? Every Friday, right? And pee in a cup, and then they can detect, because your body will get rid of all of those drugs that are in your system. It'll show up in your pee. Okay? And then, so when you look at this, you have filtration that occurs here at the glomerulus. Reabsorption at the paratubular capillaries you take back, and secretion is what you're gonna, secretion when you add to the pee tube, and then excretion what you pee out. Blue, tell them what you know so far. Go. You've got 20 seconds.
Okay, and then extrude some stuff. Or does your computer not have a film editor?
Okay, now come back to me. So the only part that takes a little bit of work, and if you could just dial it in tight so you understand it, it will not be difficult for you. And that's the reabsorption part, because certain things happen in certain places. That's what I want you to understand. Okay, so take a look at the anatomy right here. You've got two tubes going past each other. You got the blood pathway and you have the urine pathway. Yes? Okay? So right here, here is a renal artery with what kind of blood in it? Dirty oxygenated blood. Okay, now can you do me a favor? I promise you I'll give you notes. Can you just keep your eyes up for a little bit so I can make sure you understand this first time through? Okay, so here's your dirty oxygenated blood. Here's an afferent arterial. It's going to the glomerulus, which is a ball of what? Capillaries. This is set 1. What's going to happen in set 1? Everything goes out. Okay, who's going to collect it? The glomerular capsule, or another name for it, English teacher? Bowman's capsule is going to catch that filtrate. If you peed that out, you would be dead within minutes. If you peed that out, you would become so dehydrated. So dehydrated. And I'll show you that in just a minute. Okay? Then you have this efferent arteriole that goes away, and then it branches into the second set of capillaries called the peritubular capillaries. That's where you take everything back. Okay? And then on the collecting duct, you're still taking things back. And then this is going to go into your medulla and your pelvis, ureter, bladder, urethra, right? Now, there are different regions here that you need to be aware of. The proximal convoluted tubule and the distal convoluted tubule. This hairpin loop is called the loop of Henle. This is the descending loop. This is the ascending loop. And then the collecting duct goes down as well. Okay, so something happens at each one of these spots. And that's what I want to help you to understand. These two have something in common. Salt gets pumped out at both of those, and who's going to follow that salt? Water. Salt and water. Okay? Now, which way does water run? Uphill or downhill? On any of the downs, expect water to come out. Okay? Now, I want you to see how they're going different directions. What does this remind you of? Countercurrent in fish gills and efficiency. The ascending loop sets up both the descending loop and the collecting duct. The two downs, the ascending loop sets it up. You know why? The ascending loop pumps out salt, but the walls of the ascending loop are impermeable to water. So it's going salt, 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 but no water can follow out of the ascending, so the water can only come out during the descending and the collecting duct. Okay, so here, water only, here, salt only, here, water, and some urea starts to leak back too because it's so concentrated. Up here, you already taught you this, salt and water, and the distal convoluted tubule, this is where you actively transport things into the pee that you don't want in your blood. Okay, tubular secretion. So take a look at what you see here. I identified everything on here, okay, and I'll walk you through it. So look, everything's out, 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 out. Okay, that's glomerular filtration. That's part 1. The rest of this is going to be tubular reabsorption. Okay, 67% of the salt is pumped out, which you know is in the plasma, which is now in the filtrate, right? And how much of the water follows? 67%. Go down the descending, what's the only thing that comes out? Water. Why does it come out? Because on the ascending, only salt. Up here, more salt and more water. And this is where you have tubular secretion, actively putting things in. On the collecting duct, only what? Water and a little bit of urea. Now, this is the very last little bits of water you're recovering, but let me tell you how that would kill you if that one didn't work. None of you are drinking. You're not old enough to drink. But if somebody drinks a lot of alcohol, what do they tend to have to do a lot of? Pee. Why? Because alcohol, like caffeine, is a diuretic. Diuretic. Okay? Diuretics make the collecting duct walls impermeable to water. So the water that's in them gets peed out and not reabsorbed. Okay? Caffeine, alcohol, diuretics. If you lose all that water because you pee it out, you will die. Okay? Now, come back to me. Your posterior pituitary gland secretes something called anti-diuretic hormone. Anti-di. It makes the collecting ducts very permeable so that you reabsorb water. Right? If I reabsorb water, what's going to happen to my blood volume? Go up. What's going to happen to my blood pressure? So it can also help regulate blood pressure. This is why people with high blood pressure take diuretics. Think about it. If you have high blood pressure, take diuretics, so you'll pee more, so your blood volume will go down, so too will your blood pressure. Why do people get hangovers after they've been drinking? Because they're dehydrated. To avoid that, not that you would ever need to do that, but if somebody forced you when you were 21 to drink a lot of alcohol before you went to bed, what would you drink a lot of? Water to counteract the water loss as a result of the diuretic you just put in your body. And then you do not get sick. Follow? Capiche? Yes. It's all homeostasis, baby.
Why do they say that coffee is a good remedy for a hangover? Like some people use coffee.
I don't know. Water is the best, and it's best not to get the hangover. First of all, don't overdrink. But if by chance you do, before you go to bed, just drink water. Yeah. How you feel in the morning, dealing with the symptoms of that, is different than preventing it altogether, right? I would go for the prevention altogether. All right. So, on your notes, let's do anatomy of the nephron. We're going to do the blood path and the urine path. On your blood pathway, renal artery has what kind of blood? Dirty oxygenated blood. Then you have the afferent arterial. The glomerulus is a ball of set 1, filtrate pushed out of the blood and into the glomerular Bowman's capsule. D would be the efferent arterial. Paratubular capillaries is set number 2. Reabsorption of what? What do you reabsorb in your paratubular capillaries? Salt, water, etc. And then the renal vein has what in it? Clean, deoxygenated blood. Clean, deoxygenated blood. Before I do the urine pathway, Blue, you're in charge of the blood pathway. Explain it and explain all the steps. Okay.
I give up.
Yeah, everyone.
What? Oh yeah. But for which? Yeah, one second. Wait, I'm sorry. Which one? Blood path.
Okay, did you go through it? Now, let's do the urine pathway. Urine pathway.
Sure.
It starts at the glomerular Bowman's capsule and it receives the filtrate from the glomerulus. Receives the filtrate from the glomerulus. At the proximal convoluted tubule, salt and water is reabsorbed. Salt and water is reabsorbed from filtrate. From filtrate tube and put back into the blood. On the loop of Henle, what happens on the descending loop of Henle? Reabsorb water, and on the ascending, reabsorb salt. Because it is impermeable to water. Impermeable to water. At the distal convoluted tubule, salt water reabsorption and tubular secretion. Tubular secretion. That's going to be actively transported, forced to be put in the P tube. The collecting duct, what happens at the collecting duct? Reabsorbs what? Water and some urea, because it's just so concentrated at that point. Water and some urea reabsorbed. F, I gave you medulla. What are the next two places after medulla? No? Pelvis. Then what? What comes after pelvis? Ureter. Good, ureter. Slate, take on the urine pathway. Say what happens beginning to end. Oh, I didn't give you F? Then you'll. Slate, urine pathway. Tell them what's happening.
Okay, actually, water comes in.
Andrew,
What about what? Oh, with the body bus?
Okay.
Show me.
So, 3 parts to urine formation. Glomerular filtration. Think about it. When I say glomerular filtration, give me one word. I hear capillary. What else? Going out. Okay. Tubular reabsorption. You're taking back. What are you taking back? Primarily water. Tubular secretion. Actively transporting out. That happens at the distal convoluted tubule. Those are your 3 parts to urine formation. So on number 1, glomerular filtration is due to blood pressure, water, nitrogenous waste, and other small molecules, glucose salts, move from the glomerulus into the glomerular capsule. Move from the glomerulus into the glomerular capsule, and it's called filtrate. Cold filtrate. Tubular reabsorption, the importance is you need to recover what? Water. Recover water. Do you see the word countercurrent exchange in there? And then I gave you the locations, I gave you everything on tubular secretion, active transport of hydrogen and potassium ions, creatinine and drugs from the blood and into the distal convoluted tubules. Active transport. Okay, did it show up on your screen? It's waiting, right? Good job, Bob. Anish. Michael G's answered 3. He is racing. Oh, Michael's stuck on the 4th question. He's not sure. Katya's got 3 going. So does Bob. Let's go AK.
Is that Andrew Kane?
He's probably busy taking your notes for you. Let's go, Andrew.
Oh.
Is that a hit or a miss? I believe it's a hit.
No, I'm taking them all today.
Well, Matt's, we're all doing the notes.
What?
We're all taking the notes.
Yeah, well,
Doesn't show therapy wrong.
yeah. It will, as soon as I hit stop.
do that.
Then I can export it to C.
I don't care. Submit. I really don't care.
Andrew, are
YOLO,
you
dude.
doing it, or are you signed in
YOLO.
twice?
I'm just gonna YOLO the whole thing.
Oh, who's AK?
I kind of just guessed on all of it. So.
Anish? Damn it, Anish. Let's go.
I need just guess. Just be like me.
Come
guess.
on, Sean.
Just guess.
My dude.
Anish, what's going on?
I had trouble signing back in.
Really?
No, I closed it.
We're done. Oh.
Oh, wow.
Effort goes away. Maybe it takes effort to go away,
that's one
or
right.
A comes before E. Just an idea. Filtration is associated with the glomerular capsule, not all of the above.
I'll take a 50.
At the collecting duct is not glomerular, is not filtration. At the collecting duct, you're taking back. You're not filtering the blood there, okay? Filtering the blood happens one place only, at the glomerulus. Check with your bio buddy, see if they got it right, or were they part of the 8 that missed it? Shame or gong? Oh. Okay, so yes, water is reabsorbed from the collecting duct. You 10 that failed that. But it also is reabsorbed from the nephron, and it is found in the glomerular filtrate. Check your bio buddy. Shame or celebration?
It has to be LBO. You definitely got it. If you miss this, I cry. Oh my god. Oh no.
Yeah, active transport for tubular secretion. Active transport. All right. We will pick up at homeostasis in your blood next time. Not next time. Next time. Because next time, what do you get to do? Hey, a test.
They couldn't find him at night.
Why they go to